Blog Talk Radio.
Yo, what's good, people? It's your host once again, LJ, and welcome to another episode of What's the Word with LJ Mentor Podcast. Appreciate you for joining me once again, and let's get to it. Hope everybody had a good Father's Day weekend. Shout out to all the good fathers out there, and also hope everybody had a great Juneteenth as well. Let's not forget that Juneteenth. Should be celebrated as well. Should be recognized along with 4th of July. I think as black people should recognize more than 4th of July. And I know that the House and Democrats right now are discussing making this a national holiday, and I'm all for that. And not just black citizens, but everyone across the country should be happy about that as well. I hope that gets passed. So I got back to L.A. a few days ago. I actually traveled. Had to go back to my hometown, Buffalo, New York, for a few days. Had some things to take care of with family. And it was interesting to see because I was really wondering how I was going to be traveling in the airport because I haven't traveled in the airport in a couple of years or so. To see how they handled it in LAX was interesting. Not as busy as I thought it would be. In LAX, and we get in there, and I actually had to travel to Dallas for a little bit. The airport's a little busier, Dallas Fort Worth, just airport, and going to Buffalo, and I'm not surprised that one wasn't very busy, but yeah, it was a good trip back home. Got to take care of some good things, and also want to let some people know about my business. I know told them about it online, but ain't nothing like that in-person interaction, telling people like, yeah, this is what's up. People can see you serious, not just online, but they saw in person that this is what I got going on as far as like, because I mentioned before on a previous episode that I have my own business as well, aside from the podcast called Mental Designs, Inc., and what I do is graphic design. So if you need any type of graphic work, get at me. Or if you need any type of photography, and I have clothes also. You can check all that out on mentaldesigns.com. If you need any services from me, we can set up to get that work done for you. So yeah, you can get at me that way. But yeah, just so we could book a consultation online, or if you want to contact me via phone, we can do it that way. But the best way would be to contact me on the website. Real quick, if you are interested in the phone number, it's 323-285-9521. Now, what I wanted to talk about also is actually on the way back. Actually, really quick, while I was in Buffalo, didn't do too much moving around because obviously we still in a pandemic. It's not over. I was wondering if there was going to be seat spots between seats, and there wasn't. It was a full plane. Everybody was good on the airline as far as keeping distance and wiping down the seats and everything. But I don't know. And I got to go to Niagara Falls for a little bit, which I haven't been in some years. I will go to the Kansas side when I was ever in Buffalo because it's pretty close. Because you have not people that don't know, if you've never been to Niagara Falls. It's a great sight to see. There's a U.S. side and there's a Canada side. There's only a bridge separating the two, and it's about half an hour outside of Buffalo. But yeah, Falls is a great place to visit. I think you should visit at least once in your life. It's a dope place. It's dope scenery to see the falls. And I talk about that on my YouTube channel as well. I have a couple videos on there talking about trip on Niagara Falls. You can go check that out also. LJ Mentor on YouTube. If you're interested in seeing a few sights of the falls, but yeah, it's pretty dope. Now on my trip back, I got to see. Had to take a trip down to Charlotte for a minute, and that was the only airport that was pretty crazy. It was packed. I'm not sure why. I would have thought LAX or Dallas to be like that, but Charlotte was the only airport that was kind of nerve-wracking. I'm like, damn, this shit crazy. But made it back safely, thank God. And we back at it, back to work, back to another week of this podcast. And I wanted to talk about the Joker movie really quick. I'm a little late because I didn't see this movie when it first came out. And I saw that I didn't get to see the whole movie on the plane, but I saw that it was available. They had it available to watch while I was on the plane on the way back. And I saw a little bit of it. And I'm like, oh, finally get to see this movie. And before I was reading a book along the way and did some other things, and I didn't realize that the Joker movie was available to watch. And I'm like, no, I just watched like probably about 20, 25 minutes of it. And I'm like, I was like, oh, I got to see the rest of this movie. So when I get back home, I've watched the full length of the movie. And I didn't understand because I've talked to a few people and heard a few people say online and on podcasts before when this movie first came out that he blew that movie out of the park and that he was a better Joker than Heath Ledger. I'm like, what? I'm like, no way, because I didn't think anybody would be able to touch Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, his Joker, which I thought was absolutely amazing. But when I finally see this movie, I see what people are talking about. And also I know you, and it really made me think, like, is this Joaquin Phoenix, is he the best Joker ever? I think it's between, I know there's been other Jokers like in the 70s and 80s, and you had Jack Nicholson who played the Joker in the 90s in Batman. But I really think it's really between Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix. There's a couple ways you could look at it. The Joker movie was entirely about Joker. The entire screen time was about him. And then The Dark Knight, half the movie was Batman, so Heath Ledger was only half the movie. But there's a couple ways to look at it. I'm not going to give too in-depth of a review on either one or who's the best, but it just raises the question. I really think it's between Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix, who's the best Joker. No disrespect to Jack Nicholson, but I really think it's between Heath Ledger and Joaquin Phoenix. And yeah, so what y'all think? I think it's different between them two. I get a slight edge to Heath Ledger because I just think he blew it out of the park. And yeah, I think he represented the full essence of the core of what Joker is. And in this most recent film, the Joker movie, I never heard of a real backstory of the Joker. It was always kind of unknown where he came from, like what his real name was. So to see this, I don't know if they took anything from the original comics and I did research on it too. And I didn't realize that originally Joker was a lot older than Batman, but they changed that in the comics later on. Joker was revised about 4 times, but the original Joker was actually a lot older than Batman, and that's how they had it in this film that they showed Bruce Wayne as a kid. But yeah, I'll probably give a deeper analysis on this film, but I still get a slight edge to Heath Ledger, even though I thought Joaquin Phoenix was very good in this movie. Like, actually very, very dope film. If you haven't seen it, you should. I think it was a great movie. But yeah, a couple of more things I want to talk about. I'm still keeping with the theme of this month. You notice this episode is a little longer than I've been previously done because I feel like getting into it now, getting feet wet, and this is got some things to talk about. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it at this length, but this week definitely, because I got some things to address. But still keeping with the main theme of this month. This will be the last episode, at least for now, of my top 10 list. And what I chose this week is related to. I'm gonna piggyback off of Pro Football Focus. they had a list a few weeks ago of their top 50 NFL players entering the 2020 season. Pro Football Focus has a great history of doing great content, being very accurate of things, even though I've had some questionable. I've read a lot of the forums and columns and blogs about Pro Football Focus, and they give a very in-depth analysis on why they rate players the way they do. But when I saw this list, I just don't see how. And I'm just going to be real about this. There's not 50 players in the NFL better than Aaron Rodgers. That's the one that stuck out to me the most. That's fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's crazy to me. There are not 50 players better than Aaron Rodgers. To not make the top 50 is ridiculous. I'm sorry. That is absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, I'm going to get into that in a little bit. It's about my top 10 list. I have my list as top 10. I think it's kind of hard to break down players by position because the quarterbacks impact the game more than anybody. And to say who's the best player is a little tough overall, so I just broke it down to quarterbacks. And Aaron Rodgers wasn't even on a top 6 quarterback on it. Ridiculous. So, yeah, I'll get into that in a little bit. So, I want to address really quick NASCAR. If anybody knows me, I've never been a fan of NASCAR, but I just think something I feel like this needs to be talked, and I know people have been talking about it. Anybody that knows that I even made jokes saying that if you want to torture me, easy. All you got to do is put me in a room with a TV on with nothing but NASCAR on it where it can't be changed, because that's torturing me watching NASCAR. Try watching it, I just can't sit through it. I'm sorry. No disrespect to you people that like NASCAR, but I can't do it. If you want to torture me, just put me in a room with NASCAR, and that's torture to me. But, yeah, I've joked about that before. People that know me know I do that. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I know that Bubba Wallace, who is the only black full-time NASCAR driver currently in entire NASCAR, brought up something to everyone. I know he spoke out publicly saying we should remove the Confederate flag, which is one of the reasons why I never was in a NASCAR either, is because that old white male rhetoric of being racist. They have Confederate flags everywhere. And Bubba Wallace came out and said we should get rid of the Confederate flag around NASCAR. NASCAR doing a very noble thing, and they actually did it. They got rid of the Confederate flag. And there were some people that were outraged about it. And even at one of the most recent races, there were some Confederate flags, people waving them, and people were really upset about NASCAR. But shout out to Bubba Wallace for bringing this to attention, and shout out to also to the people who run NASCAR to actually make that happen quickly. Like, it didn't take them any time at all. They actually did it. So shout out to them for that. The main thing I want to talk about as far as this is there was reported last Sunday that there was a noose found in Bubba Wallace's locker. And there was and then later on, actually, today they discovered, but there was an investigation and discovered that there wasn't an actual noose. This was actually a rope that was hanging in a garage for months or so, even before Bubba Wallace got there. And the crazy thing is, when this happened, a lot of those same people that were waving the Confederate flags, they were calling out Bubba Wallace, calling him all kind of names, trying to call him Jussie Smollett. If you don't know, that's the guy from the show Empire. He had about a year or two, I want to say, was it a year ago, where he lied about getting beat up. It was a hate crime by someone, and it was a whole big mess where he was a lie, got kicked off the show. And they were comparing Bubba Wallace to that, which is crazy because Bubba Wallace wasn't even the one that reported it. So That shit doesn't even make sense. That goes to show you that idiots, they look at one headline and they don't even know the full details of the subject at hand. So they take one thing and they just ran with it. Like, oh, call me Bubba Smollett just because. And he wasn't even the one that reported it. It was someone from another team. A white man came to him and said, with tears in his eyes, thinking that this was true. And Bubba Wallace just took the information and ran with it. He wasn't the one that reported it. So for this man to be attacked the way he was is ridiculous, and it goes to show you we still have a long way to go. I appreciate the progress we've made in this country, but it's crazy that, we still have a long way to go. That man didn't deserve to be attacked like that. And NASCAR did nothing wrong. FBI did nothing wrong. And Bubba Wallace did nothing wrong. And I wish that brother nothing but success. And even if he did report this, last thing I'm going to say about this, as a black man in America, especially in that profession where you're surrounded by a place where the history is racist, like the Confederate flag is around it. Like how, I don't know how anybody can support the Confederate flag. I really don't know. It's ridiculous to me. I don't know how you can support that even in 2020. But anyway, to be surrounded by that atmosphere and still have your head held high and go out there and compete in your profession I commend him. So shout out to him. And it's got to be scary to be surrounded by that. But he was still supported by his fellow drivers and drivers from other teams that are a lot younger audiences. Even though he's the only black driver, he's still supported by he's gaining a lot of support from the other drivers and fans. So that's great. So never been a big fan of NASCAR, but when I saw that, I thought it was worthy to be talked about, and I thought it was dope. So that's great news there. And also, so it looks like we're going to have sports again starting in July. I was looking this up, and it looks like some form of soccer is coming back July 8th. Major League Baseball is coming back to say either July 23rd or 24th with a 60-game season. And the NBA is going to come back July 30th, which is great because I know a lot of people have been dying for sports. Myself included. I'm a big NBA fan. NFL is my number one favorite sport, but I love the NBA. I like MLB more in the playoffs, and mainly the Yankees because I like the Yankees, but more so the playoffs. But and it's a good thing they're having a 60-game regular season for MLB, which is actually a really good idea. I think they should cut the games in half totally. Because 162 games, I mean, who the hell watches 162 games? Let's be for real. Like, that's way too many damn games, like, for a season. They should cut it in half, like 82. I mean, it creates more urgency. Like, 162 is way too many. But that's good news. Sports is going to come back, and glad the NBA is returning as well. And I know you got your people out there who are going to say, like, oh, you got some people who are for it, some people against it, and for good reason. Obviously, you got the protests going on that were just happening. We had leverages, which is something Kyrie Irving pointed out, like why we have to capitalize on this leverage and feel like NBA season will be a distraction, which I don't agree with. I see his point, but I don't agree with it because players have protested for years in all forms of sports. So I just think it would actually help it, actually. But that's good. That's going to return. Now, let's get into my top 10 list here. Anybody knows me, I'm a big football head, especially more NFL than college. Even though I pay attention to some NCAA, but more so NFL. And Pro Football Focus lists the top 50 players. And I was looking at it, and I know they had Aaron Donald at number one, who's a defensive end. And Aaron Donald is a beast. He's definitely up there. But to use the quote for Aaron Donald is saying that he's number one and no one in any other position is even close, I think that's blasphemous. Because, Aaron Donald is great. The man he's played great in the regular season. When he entered the playoffs, I think he's played 4 playoff games, and he has a half a sack. I mean, that's not great. Like, not getting pressure, like, on playoff teams. I mean, even though Aaron Donald is a great player, he really is. But to say he's number one and it's not even close is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, it is. And that list is Patrick Mahomes, and it's kind of hard to determine because I know they had some receivers ranked high on there as well. But I'm just going to keep it just the quarterbacks. I think that's be better to explain that. So we'll get in my list, and then I'll go back and talk about why I ranked them, why I did it. So here we go. Number 1, I have Patrick Mahomes. Number 2, Russell Wilson. 3, Aaron Rodgers. 4, Drew Brees. 5, Deshaun Watson. 6, Lamar Jackson. 7, Tom Brady. 8, Carson Wentz. 9, Matt Ryan. And 10, Dak Prescott. So now, the reason why I have Patrick Mahomes at number 1, and it's been hard for me the last 2 years. Everyone has been saying that this guy is nothing like you've ever seen. He can throw a no-look pass. He can throw on the run, throw in the pocket, out of the pocket, throw a left-handed pass and be accurate. Can throw 90 yards on the field. And people saying he's never seen anything like it. I'm like Aaron Rodgers ain't been doing this shit for the past 7 or 8 years, doing the same thing, throwing on the move, throwing out of the pocket, still being accurate. Like, that's the blueprint. He took the blueprint that Aaron Rodgers had and ran with it. And that's a great thing. I mean, to say that you never seen anything like that is ridiculous. I mean, I'm sorry. And I am a Green Bay Packers fan. I am. But just being objective here, because I'm objective about when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, too. And he hasn't had the best seasons at times. To say you never seen anything like it is not true. He's took it, elevated to another level, yes. Because Patrick Mahomes is a beast, and I honestly don't even think it's close to anybody else. The way he's playing right now, the man had 27 touchdowns last year and missed 3 games and just won a Super Bowl MVP, and has a regular season MVP already, his first 2 years starting. So that's undeniable. Going to the next year, I think the Chiefs will get back to the Super Bowl. I don't see nobody being able to beat them. I know some people saying Baltimore, but I just don't see it. Number 2, Russell Wilson. I know for years people were giving the excuse that, the defense were carrying the Seahawks. And no, the past 3-4 years, Russell Wilson has been a beast. Like, he's been one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks ever. Like, and he's constantly had success on offensive end. He never gets hurt. Like, he never gets hurt. He never misses a game, and he's always making plays. He's never had a good offensive line, and he's never had really a top tier receiver. Like, he doesn't have a Julio Jones or Antonio Brown. Like, he's never really had a top tier receiver, and he still makes it happen. So, I mean, you got to give him props for that. And he's always makes the playoffs. He's never had a losing season. Never. So, it's commendable. So, the reason why I got Aaron Rodgers at number 3, some people might scoff at it like, you being a homer. You can say whatever the hell you want. I don't fuck, to be honest with you. But the reason why I got him at number 3 is because when you watch Aaron Rodgers, he still has a strong arm, still move in and out of the pocket. I think the issue is he still has the reason why I say issue, because he hasn't been in that top tier number 1 discussion. The last 2 years, he's been getting disrespected. And before that, any news writer, any outlet would say Aaron Rodgers list number 1 every year. Aaron Rodgers. The last 2 years, he's been getting disrespected. And I think it's because when you watch his game, like I said, it's not his arm strength type problem like happened with Peyton Manning at the end of his career. It's not that. I think I'm not sure if it's the collarbone injury, but he his touch is a bit off. Like, it seems like when he throws to Devontae Adams as top receiver, it's on point. When he throws everybody else, it's off. And he didn't have that problem with his old receivers like Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, and others. Like, but with these core guys he's a bit off. He still makes a lot of plays, but he's not that guy where you say, "Oh my God, did you just see that?" You might see that once or twice a year now. We used to see that probably 20 times a year. But he's still a top-tier guy, and he just was in the NFC Championship. So don't tell me Aaron Rodgers is not a top-5 quarterback. Like, you don't just get to NFC Championship with a shitty quarterback. He's a top-tier quarterback. Number 4, I got Drew Brees at number 4. I got him right behind Aaron Rodgers. I think Drew Brees is great. He's the only quarterback ever to throw 5,000 yards or more than 4 times. Nobody else has done it more than once. That screams Hall of Fame. But Drew Brees was pretty good last year, but he didn't win a playoff game. Like, he lost in the first round. He's one and done. I mean, I can't dismiss that. And I'm sorry, I just can't. So, number 5, Deshaun Watson. And Pro Football Focus had these guys ranked ahead of Aaron Rodgers. I don't, because of Deshaun Watson. He had the same number of touchdowns, 26, as Aaron Rodgers, but he had way more interceptions. So I think Deshaun Watson is a damn good quarterback, too. I think he has a little bit more to work on, but he's up there. And maybe if he gets some more talent around him, I think his coach hasn't done him any justice either. Maybe he'll get up there more, but I think I got him at 5. 6, Lamar Jackson, MVP of the league last year. Some people would probably think he's this generation's Michael Vick. I don't know, because he can throw the ball pretty accurately, too. He runs a whole lot. I need to see more from him. Maybe I'll rank him higher. Some people might have him higher, but I don't just yet, because I think he runs a lot. And I think it's disrespectful to call him a running back, because he's more than a running back. He's a quarterback, but I need to see a little bit more. 7, I got Tom Brady ranked there because he wasn't very good last year. Let's just be real. Tom Brady is the GOAT, but he wasn't that good last year. He wasn't. So maybe he'll be good. Now he's going to Tampa, got some better receivers. Bill Belichick, for whatever reason, never got him a receiver. So maybe he'll be better in that offense. And I saw that he's already doing workouts with some of the players, so that shows that he's still committed. And that's one thing I can never question is his dedication. Got 6 rings still going, so he still has to be in the top 10 list for that alone. So, number 8, I got Carson Wentz. I've never been a big fan of Carson Wentz. He gets hurt an awful lot, and he's just not. I think he's a damn good quarterback, like when he can be, and maybe he could get a little more talent on his offense to help him out. But I don't know. I just need him to be more consistent. I don't feel like he's been consistent enough. Talented, but not consistent enough. 9, Matt Ryan. He's put up great numbers. Well, I ain't gonna say great. He's put up good numbers, and he's had one of the top 2 receivers for the past 5, 6, 7 years. Well, it's good, but not great. Same Dak Prescott. 5,000 yards is nothing to sneeze at. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, Dak Prescott has been pretty good. He's outperformed and done better than I thought he would. So, and I know he's in contract negotiations with the Cowboys right now, but I think Dak is a damn good quarterback. I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but I think he'll be really good for a long time, especially if he can get a deal done with the Cowboys. All right, so that was my top 10. Some of you might be surprised at it. I don't know, but that's probably going to be my last top 10 list going forward. And once again, I appreciate you for joining me. This has been another episode of What's the Word with LJ Mentor Podcast. And I might do it a little longer. Keep it this length. We'll see. But I'm out.